Hello, welcome back. So I wanted to talk about baby bottles because I have quite a bit and I was trying to figure out what would work best with my son because he kind of spits up a lot. And I also wanted to show you how quickly they come out, how quickly the liquid comes out. Gotcha. So I'm going to show you each one first. So this is Komotomo? Komotomo. I think that's what it's called. I saw good reviews on it. It is a nice bottle, but I thought that it was a little too fast. They recommend it. Oh, maybe not. They recommend it for newborns. I don't know if you guys can see that. A little bit. But it is a little bit slower compared to other bottles. I liked it. It is squishy, so be careful of that. You might be holding it too tight and all of a sudden it's like yeah, but it is squishy on the bottom. Just try to hold it from this part, but I mean, you guys can see sort of kind of. It's not too terrible. I'm not trying to squeeze it or anything. Shake it a little bit. So it's not too bad. The Komotomo, again, it has really good reviews. I just didn't like it for my son because as soon as he starts to drink, it comes out much faster and he guzzles, and when he's guzzling, all of a sudden he drinks really fast and he's spitting up really fast too. So I liked it, but I didn't like it for my son. There we go. So I got 2 Tommee Tippees. And one is anti-colic and one is better for like airflow and stuff like that. That's why this one's got a little thing in the middle. It looks fancy. But this one is a one nipple and this one is a 0 nipple. So the 0 nipple is what I use for my son. It definitely helped with his, I thought it helped with his spit up. I'll show you the difference. So this one is the 0. I bought it on Amazon. I'm not sure of the price. I'll write down the price of it. But that's what that is. Is that 0? Yeah, it's 0. So it is faster than the other one. You can see. And the 1. So I think, yeah. That's the 1. So I don't use the 1 at all for my son who is a guzzler and then spits up a lot. But the Tommee Tippee is a good bottle. I recommend if your child spits up a lot. I mean, obviously there are things you can use to help with the spit up, but talk to your doctor. Do not listen to me about stuff like that. But I just use slower nipples personally. It's just my opinion on that. So the Philips, obviously all these nipples, all these bottles come with different sizes, different nipples. So I wanted to give you a general idea. So this is Philips. This is actually a 2, and all the nipples look, I don't know. So that one's a little more flat. This is the Tommee Tippee. This is the Philips, and you can see the difference. Obviously, this is the Komotomo. I'm sorry if I am pronouncing that wrong. Just to give you an idea of what it looks like. So that actually doesn't come out too fast, but as soon as they start eating, I'm sure it'll be different. Let's see what happens. Okay. So it's got to be like they're eating kind of thing. And I'm trying to barely touch it, and it's, I don't know. It's not too bad. But let's shake it a little maybe. There it is. Okay. So that's sort of kind of what an idea. But this one I thought was good, but I'm not using the 2 nipple. I should have bought a lower number. But this is also a good bottle. It's also got an airflow. So all these bottles have different forms and different ways for like anti-colic and better, easier. So that way your baby isn't gassy, and they all look different. It's weird. So obviously Tommy Tippy, the Philips has got the spoon thing in the middle there. It's interesting looking. So all of them definitely got their own things going on. And I recommend, if you're going to feed your baby, so this took my husband a little bit of time to figure out. If you're going to feed your baby, before you sit down and relax and all that, take the top off. Because some of these are fun to take off. I don't know if you knew that. I think this one is a Parenthood, and I bought this to try it just because the bottle is freezable, and I wanted to be able to freeze some of my milk. Oh, so that's what that looks like. I definitely don't use this one whatsoever. It's too fast, and my son, I'm like, son, calm down, please. So it does slow down, but think about if you were on that thing. It's coming out. It's coming. It's coming. So that one was not my favorite. So the Dr. Brown's, I like the Dr. Brown's, but I also was one of those parents that like to watch the flow. And that one's leaking too. Oh. So I found that some bottles will leak. You do have to be careful of that and be aware. He's actually using a Tommy Tippy right now. I don't know if you saw that. I don't know where it's leaking from. So if you do not put these together right, they will leak from here. They will leak from in here. I mean, it was amazing to me to see how easy it was to just, there it is. It's on there, I think. It's on there right, I think. I actually don't know. I'm not going to take it apart, but I wanted to show you, if you guys don't put them together right, that's what happens. That's what happens. Just so you know. So, Playtex, I have a love-hate with these, okay? This only holds 6 ounces. My son is drinking a little bit more than that. He's turning into a big boy. But I love these because they are a slower nipple, but I hate them because the bottom, it's got little tiny holes for better airflow. And it's got a little plastic piece in the middle. I don't know if you can see it. That's supposed to kind of cover those holes so it doesn't leak. But it does leak if you don't put this thing on right. So it'll leak from that bottom. And a few times I've had it just leaking all over. And I already put formula in it. I'm getting ready to feed my baby, and all of a sudden you feel just wetness. And it's okay because I'm feeding him like this, so it's not a big deal. But if he only drinks 4 ounces and I got 2 ounces left, guess what? I gotta dirty another bottle. Or I'm just gonna put a napkin on the bottom of this, which is what I've done in the past because I was annoyed and tired, and in the middle of the night you don't think straight. No. But I have a love-hate with the Playtex. It will leak from the bottom. It's not bad. Just to give you guys an idea of what it looks like. But again, I have a love-hate with these. If I don't put it together right, I have a bad time. If I put it together right, it's perfectly fine. I have no issues. None whatsoever. I love them. So I wanted to show you the 2 Dr. Brown's. I didn't realize that there were 2 different ones. So let's show you guys. So this one's a little bit wider. And this one, I think this one's for like smaller babies. Because my baby was like here on the thing. He was just, I don't know what he was doing. I don't know how he was doing, but he was here on it, and I was concerned that he was gonna choke on the nipple. But they're the same, just skinnier, smaller. I want to say these are for smaller babies. I'm not sure. Like I said, my son was here on it, and I've seen plenty of reviews where parents are saying that about these bottles. Yep. What nipple? So this is a 1. What was this? This is also a 1. Just kidding. I thought it was a 2. But that's what it's going to look like. About the same as the other one, I believe. Let's go. Let's go. Let's take a gander. So that's what they both look like. So this one's going a little bit faster, the bigger one. Just a little bit. But that's both the Dr. Brown's. One's just a little bit smaller. Actually, do they hold them? No, so this one holds more than this one. And they do say don't go past a certain line. Why is it blurry? There we go. It still looks like poop. I'm sorry. But, so the ones that I loved and use consistently, obviously I use the Playtex when it's not leaking. I used the Tommee Tippee, and I think, I don't know if you guys noticed, so this one doesn't have like airflow, but it came with an anti-colic nipple. I think I use this one a little bit more than this one. It really doesn't, I mean, they're the same bottle, same shape. My son has no problems. The only problems he's had is with the smaller ones where he's looking like he's gonna choke on them. But I like the Tommee Tippee, the Playtex, and I mean, all of these are really good bottles, but you gotta kind of see what your child will do well with, especially when it comes to sizes, flow, everything. And it's crazy to think about how many bottles out there, how many shapes there are, how everything looks different, the flow, everything. It is overwhelming. So that's why I actually have more bottles, but some of them I didn't use because they just did not look like they were gonna work out. And I was watching the flow on some of them, and I was not having it. Because like I said, my son guzzles. And then when he's done, he spits up half of what he just guzzled. But if he gets a slower nipple, he does so much better, and it's crazy. So just play around a little, ask moms, go on review pages, because that's what I did with some of them. And even like something like this, I actually have the bigger form of this because they only have 2 sizes. They have this one, and I think a 9 ounce, I think. But this one was decent. I think I'll use this when he's a little bit older, only because, I mean, it's still a really decent bottle. I personally liked the fact that it would be great for when he's older. But some of these, the flow on them is too much. I don't see how any parent can look at it and be like, yep, this is great. Now, maybe your child is fine and not guzzling and eating normal. Maybe. My son's just crazy. But like I said, this one's like flat. But the weird part is, like, this is a 2. And this is a 1. But, so, the Phillips is a 2. The Dr. Brown's is a 1. And somehow, well, that's not a good example, because the Dr. Brown's is leaking right now. But somehow the 1 is going much faster than the 2. So it really honestly depends on the bottle, the shape, like, it depends on everything. Do not be afraid to ask. Do not be afraid to go on search engines, to look on Facebook. Do not be afraid, because there's so much. It got overwhelming for me for a little bit there, only because there was so many good reviews out there. The bottles that had bad reviews, I didn't even bother looking at or bringing them in to test them. No. But I recommend asking, and then I recommend finding the top maybe 4 or 5 bottles that you thought, oh, okay, this is great, I'll try it, and try them. Because if you don't try them and give bottles a chance, then you're probably gonna find a bottle and be like, oh yeah, this is the one, and then find out that it's really not, because the first like month or two with this, it was fantastic. And then it started leaking out of the bottom. And I was like, why? What's happening? I don't understand. I don't get it. And even like this one leaking, I'm trying to find where it's leaking and why. Let's show. You can't really see, but I don't see why it's leaking. I don't get it. If you don't put these things together right, I don't recommend doing that, but I see it's like barely pinched. You can't see it. Oh, man. It's wild how these things work, but it's like barely pinched and barely nudged over a little bit, and it's leaking. But yeah, I recommend trying bottles, the Playtex. Maybe you can find a different Playtex bottle, because Playtex has been around for a long time. I mean, my mom was talking before I had my son. My mom was recommending Playtex to me. My son is waking up. Hold on, buddy. So my mom was recommending Playtex to me, and even my mother-in-law was recommending Playtex. So Playtex has been around for a while, and for my mom, for so many people to recommend it, see what they have, try them, because I loved this until it started leaking. The Tommee Tippee, everybody recommended it to me. I had to go with a zero nipple, which is supposed to be like extra slow. This was also really great. Those were personally my favorite. So a lot of people like Dr. Brown. A lot of people like Dr. Brown. So try Dr. Brown. Try the Tommee Tippee. Try a Playtex product. I don't recommend that at all. So if you see these, they're good for freezing. That I know for a fact. So if you want to freeze something, get this, because some of I got like a smaller version of this, and it came with a little extra, like you take the nipple off and you put a little plastic piece in the top, and then you put the top back on, and you put it in the freezer. But I do not recommend using this at all for your baby, not even a little bit.